yeah, the triple camera, how many cameras? I don't even know honestly how many cameras you end up having, whether it look like a googly eyed thing, right?
Hi everybody, welcome to our Tech Talk, and I've got my friend here, Victor, and my name is Joshua, and we've got something great for you today. That is the iPhone 12 Pro, which Victor is holding right now.
Max.
12 Max, and I've got the Huawei Mate 40 Pro in my hand. So what we're doing today is actually, we are ordinary users, we are not any tech geeks, just ordinary users that are going to go through the functions and also how practical these particular phones are. So we'd like to shout out to all of you out there who are watching. Thank you very much for watching today.
We want to really share our experience using the phones, and we wanted to share with everyone like the practical aspects of what we love about the phones and how it's added value to our lives. Perhaps maybe some of these things could be considerations for you in picking up your phone to see if it's worth the buy.
Definitely. So yes, let's jump right into it. Let's talk a little bit about the iPhone 12 Pro Max.
So I haven't upgraded my iPhone for about maybe 2 or 3 years. I was using a second-hand iPhone XS, and then this year I actually decided to make the jump because of the camera.
Okay. So I used to be an iPhone user, and of course I switched to Android again. I went to go into Huawei. I started with Mate 10, and then after Mate 20, and then now Mate 40 Pro. Okay. So one thing I like about the Huawei is, so when I switched from iOS to Android, actually was much easier in Android for me. I think I felt that the Mate series actually improved tremendously. So that actually helped me to use this particular to get used to this particular phone much faster.
So who introduced you to like Huawei? Because last time Huawei was never kind of like in the scene, right? It was just kind of Samsung, iPhone.
Well, I'm also an MC and a host, so I actually did their road shows. So that's where I got introduced to Huawei. I was actually an iPhone user then.
Okay.
So then after that, I think my phone was not functioning very well. I can't remember which iPhone it was. I think it was 8, I think. And then after that, I needed to change. So I said, why don't I try in Huawei? So that's when I started from there. Leica in the camera world, I think even you yourself as a photographer and a videographer, I'm sure you know what Leica is. So that actually helped me to make a decision of using a Huawei.
So I'm intrigued because like this is the first time, honestly, this is the first time I'm hearing that Huawei uses like Leica technology in a Huawei phone. So how does that work? What do they say about it? Like how do they use Leica technology?
Okay, so if you're a Huawei user, definitely you know that they are very good in terms of their pixel, in terms of their zoom. That's of course very well known. The other one I think that is well known for Huawei is the capability of taking very good photos. And Leica not only has been used in Mate, they also are used in the Mate series, but also are used in the P series. So that actually gives a lot of options for other people to use Leica in other series as well.
So this year, iPhone 12 Pro Max, one thing that I was very attracted to as a person that is a photographer and a videographer was the whole implementation of their new Apple RAW. So on the Pro Max, they have there's a camera that's a 65mm if I'm not mistaken. So it's like a portrait lens where you can take really good portrait photographs. Then we have the 14mm like super ultra wide lens, and then the standard 24mm. But again, what was very attractive was the fact that the video side could handle 10-bit video and it could also shoot Apple RAW. So having a phone that can shoot RAW is quite revolutionary in terms of coming from the Apple world or the iPhone world. What about for Huawei? Does it shoot in RAW?
As far as I'm concerned, it does, but it does not have a function.
Does not have a function.
It's a function. I think it's just taking photos whenever you adjust it accordingly. iPhone has good cameras for taking night shots as well. So this also will be taking good night shots as well, but not as good as the iPhone.
0 to 100%. Okay, how important is the camera for your phone in your buying decision?
I think it's quite high, especially during this period of time to social media, I think it would be about 70 to 80%.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, because I also do a lot of photos. I take a lot of photos. I also do take a lot of videos as well. I think it's very important to have a good camera on the phone right now, especially with TikTok, with Instagram, with live on Facebook, and also live on YouTube.
So we're very curious also, like in the comments for those of you that are watching, to just let us know like how important is the camera quality or the camera in the phone in making your buyer's decision.
Yep.
What would be the other priority for you?
One thing I like about the Huawei Mate 40 Pro is the handling side.
Okay.
Of course, you can see those who are using the Huawei phone, you will notice that it has curves.
Dangerous curves.
So so that's about 88 degrees. Okay, so it's almost 90 degrees curve.
Cool. So it does have like a
So that actually helps in terms of handling compared to the normal square that we have on other phones.
Okay. I have a big question about, just now you mentioned the design. We have those maxi little curves on the phone, but like what happens if like you put like a bumper on or like a case? Then is it a waste that you have all these curves, or do you get bumpers that actually like show the curves? I have no idea because I've never used a phone.
Okay, so I have the Mate 20 Pro here, as you can see with the casing. The casing at the side, of course, it's covering the curves, which doesn't really bother me that much.
Okay.
But of course, there are casing that enables you to see transparent.
But the curves are gone, like essentially.
Curves are gone now, definitely with all the casing, because casings usually are all what you call square. Yeah.
So perhaps design isn't the greatest determining factor in the end if we end up needing a case.
True.
Okay.
Yeah. The other one that is very interesting is also the back. The back here, the camera is they call it space wing camera. Now, the reason why they do this is because I feel like it's because that if we can show it to you, is you get on the floor. I mean, look at the table. It doesn't fall off.
And it's pretty seamless at the forehead. So that's not a notch. I think one thing I wasn't a fan of was the notch when it first came out. It was like, what's this eyebrow, this random eyebrow on the phone, and that just never seemed to go away. So what do you think? Is this a notch, or what is this camera little?
I think this one you kind of avoid lah. You know, if you want to take selfies with this.
Does that bother you to have?
Not really. I think it's fine. I mean, it looks weird because you got like one thing here, but as for the iPhone, it's not so much. The iPhone, it doesn't really look that an issue.
Perhaps this also a reason for this looking this way is that like your wallpaper is brighter and mine's darker, so
I put it maximum. I put it maximum brightness. So
for the design wise, I feel like I'm being honest right here. I'm not being sponsored by Apple, so I can speak freely and honestly what my opinions are. First impressions of the phone is like, why would they say this is an all new design when it looks so similar to the iPhone 5? I don't know if you ever had the iPhone 5 or the 5S, but like it was like this, but a baby version of this.
No 3 cameras
not 3 cameras, but still it was this little box. It's got the same boxy edges. I mean, it's nice. I liked it. I like the iPhone 5 design, and I have to admit, like, it's still a really beautiful design. It's just that it didn't feel like a revolutionary design to me. Again, to reiterate, the reason why what caught my eye was the 10-bit video, which basically means that you get a lot more color depth and you get a lot more options if you're doing video editing. Honestly, like when it comes to speed, they always say it's faster. I can't really like see it or feel it, and to me it's like, unless you're using like a computer where you're using heavy duty apps and you need a lot of power, then I can see the power difference. But whenever they say, oh, it's even faster, honestly, I don't really care because I can't really see the difference when it comes to speed. When it comes to the photography, I just like the fact that there's this Apple RAW. I don't even know if it's 14-bit RAW, but it really does allow me to do a lot more professional color grading on a phone. I've done a comparison with like a DSLR and the iPhone, but of course in the end the DSLR It's a DSLR, it's better pictures, and it's a way bigger optical lens. But for a phone, I gotta say that it was the main swing for me to get this upgrade to the 12 Pro Max.
Oh, as you can see, he's a photographer, so that's why he looks into that so often. Yeah.
Why don't you share, in a nutshell, from your experience, what are some things that you just love about this compared to maybe the version before?
Okay, so this particular phone has a very unique system, and this particular unique system is called eyes on display. Meaning that if, say for example, you're playing a YouTube video, right, and you're watching it, like for example, vertically, like that.
Okay.
But because you are lying down and you're watching it horizontally, it will follow your eyes.
So if you're lying down and watching it,
and then suddenly you the video will actually move according to your eyes.
Like this.
Yeah. And then after that, if you move up this way, it will go vertical.
Okay, so if I do this, then it will switch to vertical in the landscape.
Yes.
Ah. Okay.
So that's one thing that is very, very unique about this particular gadget. So yeah, that's.
Does it spoil your viewing experience since it becomes smaller?
How about you? What's the best function about the iPhone?
I'm going to be honest here. The iPhone always feels like an iPhone. I mean, the iPhone's an iPhone no matter what iPhone it is. But my favorite feature, obviously, as I've said before, is definitely the camera. So the camera, again, shooting RAW and having that 65mm lens without zooming, it's optical, just gives that really nice portrait look. I'm a big fan. I would say that it's just back to the camera. The design, but mostly the camera.
The battery, which is 4,400 mAh, and then
okay, if for those of you that are heavy tanker users, right, watching videos, Netflix, YouTube, FaceTiming, just commuting and doing all that heavy duty stuff, how would you say the phone is able to stack up to the needs of that?
I guess you can do for 10 hours plus.
10 hours?
10 hours plus. I mean, if you play Call of Duty for 10 hours straight, if you do it, if not,
okay, wow.
Then it's almost 8 hours you can do it. 8
okay,
hours.
that's pretty good.
It's not too bad actually. It's not too bad. Yeah.
So battery life is one of the big considerations. I forgot to mention, yes, camera, design, but battery life. Like I used to be traveling around. Where's my power bank? Oh crap, I forgot my power bank. And then every time I'm wheezing, right, and I would connect it, I'll be trying to put low power mode on, and then I'll put my power bank there and just be charging it throughout the day, because for the 10S, it just drains battery so quickly. So once I got this, the biggest difference that I felt, besides the display and the camera, was the battery life. I was able to not go into low power mode, and I could use the phone from 6 a.m. all the way even to 2 a.m. and I was really using it, using videos, using FaceTime, and I was surprised that I made it through the whole day with still
I think
20% of battery left.
I think this particular phone enables you to have a guest account. I'm not sure whether they have that for this particular iPhone, but in this they have a guest account, meaning that you can actually easily switch. You can easily switch from your account to the guest account by just going from the top, swiping down like this. Okay. Here we don't have it because it's a demo phone, and then you can actually switch your guest account on the top here.
So why would you want to have a guest account?
Okay. So for example, your kids, right? Your kids are using your phone.
Okay.
Right. You do not want them to access certain documents in your phone, for example, things like PNCs and all that, so they accidentally press it or accidentally read it.
Okay.
So with that guest account, you can actually have your own kids' apps in the guest account and have your apps on your own account. Right? So that enables you to feel secure.
Okay.
Right? When you have two different accounts. So you can actually switch and all that.
Alright. So what if my phone got stolen a few times, and what happens the snatch thief I can install a guest account now on my phone, and
but you need the password first now. The speakers wise, okay, so speakers wise in terms of the iPhone, what do you think about the iPhone?
I think the speakers are really good. It's loud. I was surprised how loud the speakers are in this phone, but it's definitely it's definitely loud enough. Any louder is it would be pretty crazy. So Does the Huawei phone have like stereo speakers?
Yeah, actually speakers top and bottom. So
Okay.
I will run, I will climb, I will soar.
So you
Wow.
can hear it from the top and you can hear it at the bottom. So the speakers are actually from the bottom and the top. So it's really good. It's really, really good.
Now let's get to like the real juicy question. Are all these bells and whistles really worth the price? Like, do these features actually like really make your life easier? Because I think one of the main focus on this whole show is that we want to talk about value. Like, we know that the phones are incredibly valuable to us, but the new features that come out, like, does it really bring that extra edge of value? Do you really use it like 80% of the day, and is it worth the price? How much is the phone running for?
Okay, so Huawei made 40 Pro in US dollars now. It's at $1,213 US dollars.
Would you recommend the phone and the features as being like is it really worth the money that you spend?
In terms of everything about it, I think this is also a very, very good phone. Of course, there is a downside to it, which we will not touch about it today. But yes, I would definitely.
I forgot to ask you, how many cameras are on the phone again?
There are 4 cameras behind.
4 cameras.
4 cameras behind
Okay.
and 2 cameras in front.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So the 4 cameras behind, what are the focal lengths of those cameras?
I'm not a photographer.
As a photographer, it has been really, I can see a massive difference. Like, taking pictures on this phone versus like the 10s, yes, it's an amazing huge leap. Both in video, the video stabilization is amazing. You don't even need a gimbal, which is like a stabilizer that you kind of put your phone on. So it has a really amazing inbuilt stabilizer. So that's great on my side.
Alright, so in terms of the rear camera, it's 50 MP.
Okay, the last thing I missed out is that at least for the iPhone 12 Pro Max, what they boast is that it has this Lidar sensor. So this Lidar sensor is basically supposed to be able to autofocus on your face in the dark to listen. I'm a big believer in education, so I'll be listening to podcasts, I'll be even running Skillshare or Masterclass. I'll be really consuming a lot of this stuff. So for me to be able to I love to have these online lessons going on and on. Whenever I have free time, I'm trying to learn something, and I'm using my phone to learn it. So podcasts, business podcasts, or these platforms, I'm using them all day long. And like I said, in the evening, I just want to be able to know that I don't have that fear of my battery running out, and I can listen and watch videos like all day. And when I need to take great pictures, I can. So that's my average day use. So if I could describe it all in a rapid fire mode, that would be mine. So if you share like a similar kind of experience to me, then these would be some reasons why you would upgrade. What about you, Joshua? What's
yeah, for me, I wake up in the morning, I basically read news. I go to news channels and all that, whether it's on YouTube or even on usually on YouTube, or I go into like Fox News or CNN or maybe even Star newspapers or any NST. That's what I usually do. Then after that, I will definitely read my messages. Emails not so much, because emails I usually read it on my laptop. So from there, actually, I just use that to maybe listen to music, go on YouTube again, maybe play a bit of Call of Duty. And then that's basically the afternoon or the morning.
Like I said, if you like bigger battery, you watch videos a lot, you also love the whole photography aspect of the convenience of having like amazing pictures on a phone, then I say it is a huge upgrade for me. I mean, coming from someone that's been so reluctant to ever get like a new phone, I would say that yes, it has been worth it. So what about you, Joshua? What about for this phone? Do you think it's been a worthy upgrade for yourself?
Yeah, I think it's a worthy upgrade, especially when you're coming from a Mate 20 Pro to a Mate 40 Pro. But if you're going from Mate 30 to Mate 40, maybe not. Maybe not. All right, but for 20 to a 40, yes, I would definitely say yes, definitely. So I hope that you enjoyed the talk that we had, and I hope that you got a little idea of how we as users use our phones, and hopefully that will give you some idea of which phone to choose.
Yeah. So thank you for joining us. We would love to also have a lot more real talks about real products to see if they actually help us to change our lives or make them better, because I think that should be the end goal. Like, besides all the fancy little features, if those features actually translate to actually better lifestyle and life quality improvement, I honestly think it's worth it. So those are some things that we would love to cover on this show.
Sure.
So yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I think it was a fun time.
Yep.
We all enjoyed it. So look out for next episode if we do have it.